Hello everyone, Harrison Kratz here for Engage TV, another interview from BlogWorld New York, and I'm here with Shel Holtz, ABC, Accredited Business Communicator. Right. So I had that in because that's everywhere, so I didn't want to
everybody asks too.
Exactly. So Shel, thank you so much for joining me, and you just got done your session on basically why CEOs should be all for open social communication, correct? Right. So why don't you give us a little bit of an overview of what that session was all about?
Sure. It's a hot button issue for me and what I've been passionate about for a long time. A lot of organizations, according to one study, 54% in the U.S. are blocking employee access, and it's a knee-jerk reaction to a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt, the FUD factor.
Yeah.
And what they're not looking at is the value that they can be extracting from the fact that their employees are bringing their social graphs to work with them every day. And I know some people are worried about inauthenticity and the astroturfing, and that's not what I'm talking about. I'm very above-board, transparent. But there are ways that you can tease real value out of the fact that employees are bringing their networks and their communities with them to work that produce greater value than the risk that might exist from those factors that cause people to want to block.
Absolutely. So, you said like fear. So, and one of the quotes that you used was from Jack Holt, who's a senior strategist for the U.S. Department of Defense,
right?
And how they've opened up communication among the Marines. Of all people, the Marines have opened
the Marines,
with
the
policy,
Army, all of the branches.
Absolutely incredible. And what he said was that you can either look at internal social media or internal use of social media. You can either look at it as a fortress of defense or a field of maneuver.
Right.
And just to kind of elaborate on the field of maneuver, and also how important it is to empower your employees and allow that open social communication.
Sure, yeah, when he talks about it as a fortress to be defended, what he's talking about is what most organizations are doing. It's just we have to keep our employees in and keep them away from the outside world. When you look at it as a field of maneuver, though, you start to envision the ways that your employees engaging out there in that space.
Possibilities.
Right, what can we do for the organization? He talks about, Jack does, with the Department of Defense, the fact that a lot of the really superficial and two-dimensional negative news coming from the enemies of the United States, the jihadists and the like, were offset by hearing the real stories of soldiers talking about what they were doing over there. He pointed to, in the interview that I did with him on my podcast, the name is escaping, Ernie Pyle, who was the diarist during World War II. And those diary entries, which got published, really galvanized both the people back home as well as the forces in the Pacific that he was with. Not a lot of people are writing diaries today, but what they do write is Facebook updates and blog posts, and that's the new diary, right? And it's the same opportunity for people to share their own experiences, which are very three-dimensional and very rich with people, so that you get that real view of what's going on over there, and not the shallow, superficial publicity that's being thrown at you by your enemy. I think this is a concept that can be easily brought to business. What is your competition saying? What are the advocacy groups that are opposed to you saying? You can get out there with your press releases, and that's fairly superficial and very efficient, and people don't pay a lot of attention. But if you hear from real employees who are saying, oh yeah, look, my job has changed because we're being more sustainable, and here's how I'm doing my work more differently, that's very powerful stuff. That's very genuine, and it's an insight into the organization. So, using it as a field of maneuver is absolutely a consideration that organizations need to start to pay attention to, particularly since, blocking access isn't keeping their employees from engaging. It's just keeping them from engaging on the company networks.
Exactly. So, like you said, over half of companies in the U.S. still block.
Right.
And, I think, as young professionals, a lot of our audience, we all think, wait, everybody's social, but that's, not true. So how can somebody at a, a company that doesn't allow that communication, how can they maybe present this to the higher ups, or maybe be an advocate for this change in open communication?
I think the focus has to be on recognizing what is keeping your CEO awake at night, what the issues are in the organization, and going forward with tangible ideas. Not just saying, hey, boss, you ought to be letting me out on the social networks, but to say, hey, I know people who would be great to bring in here to work if I'm made aware of the open positions and given the permission to go out into my networks and say, hey Mary, you'd be perfect here. Not only do you have the qualifications, but this is the culture that's perfect for you. We're likely to bring in more better candidates into the organization at a much greater cost than what recruiting is costing us now. Same thing for going out for subject matter expertise. You know, sir, if you unblocked our networks, I'd be able to go out to my peer group and get answers to questions that I'm not able to find inside the organization. So it's really tangible things that help CEOs see that this is a way to solve business problems or to leverage business opportunities rather than just, I want to be on Facebook when I'm at work.
Yeah, there's got to be actionable results behind it. That's what keeps CEOs up at night.
Right. You know, there's also issues that I didn't have time to address today, like job satisfaction and employee engagement. I mean, every CEO wants a more highly engaged workforce. Engagement is defined as employees who want to make discretionary effort for the organization. You know, and employees who feel like they get to go out and check the most recent posts from the people in their communities when they're taking a break between tasks, probably more highly engaged and doing better work in the long run.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as internally or externally, community building is always a huge factor in anything social. So, what do you think is the most important factor in building community?
Yeah, there's a lot of important factors in building community, but I think, you know, among the most important is to address what the community is interested in and not what you want them to know. There are plenty of opportunities that people have to have stuff pushed at them. This is not just a Facebook community or a social network. I mean, this even relates to blogs. One of the reasons so many corporate blogs don't get read is we're pushing the same corporate crap at you through the blogging channel that we do through all the others. You have to understand what their challenges are, what their interests are, what their issues are, and provide some solutions and build community around the things that they care about. It means you really have to do a lot more listening than talking in these communities.
Absolutely. So thank you very much,
My
Shel.
pleasure.
Yeah, absolutely. So where can we find you on Twitter?
I am on Twitter at Shel Holtz. One word, one L and a T. SHELHOLTZ.
There you go. Easy. And then you know, we can find you on Holtz.com.
Holtz.com.
Yeah, absolutely. So thank you very much. And you guys can, like we've been saying in every video, follow the hashtag for BlogWorld, hashtag BWENY, and Harrison Kratz from BlogWorld, and we'll have another video for you guys soon. Thank you very much. All right, awesome.